In this video, we're going to react to why good Roblox games are unpopular, and it has in parentheses Blox Fruits, Pet Simulator 99, etc. And it's by No Hay Moment with 1.71k subscribers, and it has over 300,000 views, and it's about 1 month ago. So let's go check it out and see, if he has some truth and such. And yeah.
Imagine this. You're on Roblox, bored out of your mind, hoping to play some good and fun games. And when you scroll, to your disappointment, all you find are games that are too saturated with players than they're worth. Games that aren't even fun or interesting. Too many times has this happened to me. I knew the general reason, but I didn't know the full reason for this. And today I wanted to research and find out why the most popular games are so popular, and why good and high quality games are shrouded in unyielding obscurity. After digging a bit deeper, I found some similarities that otherwise aren't so apparent when you first look at it. So, I'm not a fan of delaying, so let's get straight into it. The games I will be testing are the following. In the popular category, we have Adopt Me, Murder Mystery 2, Pet Simulator 99, Toilet Simulator, Blox Fruits, and Souls RNG.
Okay, let's look at that. Yeah, like, Adopt Me makes me wonder why it's so popular, but a lot of younger kids like it. Murder Mystery, I do enjoy that when I'm live streaming and such. Pet Simulator 99 drives me nuts of how much money they try to gouge out of people. Toilet Simulator, it wasn't bad. Blox Fruit, I have a series on it. I enjoy it, but it does make me wonder how it is so freaking popular. But I still enjoy it. And then Souls RNG, I'm not big into the RNG games. They're just kind of really boring to me. But if you like it, you like it.
In the underrated category, we have Tower Defenders, Starscape, Fantastic Frontier, Visteria, Hexaria, Arcane Lineage, and Pilgrimed.
I want to try those games though. I'm curious. Gambling and addiction.
Out of the 6 popular front page games I played for my research, there was one very bold and obvious caveat: gambling. As said by the National Institute of Health, gambling activity among adolescents and young people has received considerable research attention due to a high prevalence of gambling reported among these groups in recent years, which honestly is way higher than expected given its sample size.
I mean, that makes sense. Like, if you're just playing a game like that and it's like you roll and you're like getting a new egg or something, or you like ask your mom for Robux and you're like, you get that special egg, maybe you're trying to get that Titanic, there's just like a thrill to it, per se.
Games,
I can understand
how it
that.
usually works is that you play the game for some amount of time, do a task for some currency, click a button to roll a loot box, and hope for that shiny, mythical, ultra legendary, only to be disappointed by the most common item.
You gotta
The
keep
rush
trying.
when you get of thinking of the possibilities of what you'll get. An even shadier tactic is by displaying multiple items next to each other, making them pass by showing them what you could have gotten if you just had some more luck.
Yeah.
All of this combines into an entice the player to keep going and keep playing so they can get that super rare item that they're hoping for.
And then like 3 months down the road, most likely like they probably won't really care about the game or the item that much. At some point, I remember when I used to just buy a bunch of skins on Fortnite. And I probably spent like $200 to $400 out of the course of like 5 years on Fortnite on skins and such. And like, I barely played the game now, and I'm like, why did I just spend so much money on like skins? And then like, and that wasn't even like randomized from like a gambling perspective. It was just really cool and just like eye popping. So imagine just spending hundreds of dollars on this game, and are you gonna play it a year from now?
People have the tendency to want good stuff at games, gain rare items, and become rich. I'm not immune to that either. However, it goes too far when the game developers know this and extensively try to abuse it in order to make a following of addicted and loyal players who will get chronically bleed out of their wallet and time into the game, letting the developers gain massive profits. The feeling you get of gambling and opening loot boxes and getting something decently rare releases adrenaline and dopamine.
Makes sense.
causes our brain to want more and keep continuing our behaviors.
Like, you ever take a bite out of like an Oreo cookie or ice cream and like the way how you're like, that's really good, get that dopamine hit?
This issue
It's
itself
like,
isn't
now you're doing
necessarily
the
the
game.
gambling for items
You
or
get
units
items.
itself, but the psychological dependence it may create. As you gamble more and more, the more resistance you'll develop to those hormones, which makes it so you need more of that stimulation to get the same feeling. This is also what TikTok uses, short, entertaining, high dopamine videos that causes us to need.
That's why I can't use TikTok. Cause like when I used to use TikTok, like yeah, I would be on it for a hot minute, just like scrolling, and even on my YouTube, I have to catch myself. Like I don't even watch videos. I just keep looking and see like new thumbnails, and yeah, I'll watch videos, but like a lot of times it's more just like getting that quick dopamine hit, and I'm like I have to like watch myself.
Need more for the same entertainment, blasting away hours at a time. And unfortunately, Roblox has allowed for this with premium payouts and the ability to add absurd in-game purchases without any regulations. Literal businesses have arose due to this gambling schemes and made hundreds of thousands, millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars just by abusing the malleable minds of adolescents. With all the flashy colors, notifications, and animations, it's easy to get hooked really easily. It was surprising to see that when I played a game like Pet Simulator 99 for this video, I found myself easily getting sucked into the game.
Oh, dude. When this game first came out, like I wasn't a big fan of Pet Simulator, X or whatever the first one was. But when I played this, I played it for so long in the first couple of days. I was just straight addicted to it. It was just, they made it so like dopamine hit, like it was crazy.
I'm no psychologist, but I believe this is one of the many reasons why kids find themselves attracted to games like these. It's a giant dump of dopamine and magnitude to where even the most substandard games will attract a following. With most of the games, including the smaller good games, had trading. Now this isn't inherently bad, but within those games there exist three types of traders that I could account for. The person who just wants better loot, which I'll call the casual, the trader who's trying to gain some value, the generalist, and the insanely rich trader who's just trying to gain more profits or other insanely expensive items, the collector or the monopolist. Most of the population that are within the first two traders are just trying to get more profits to have a sense of satisfaction.
True.
And these players will pour hours worth of gameplay doing the exact same thing every single day just to see the self-satisfaction of a big inventory. And I don't blame them, I tend to do this as well, but at some point, this starts to become an unhealthy obsession that will eventually all leads back to addiction. All of the front page games that I played were very low complexity compared to the more unpopular games that I played. Games that seemed similar, like Tower Defenders compared to Toilet Tower Defense, was a day of difference. Tower Defenders had so many units, strategies, and far much more quality, but Toilet Defense Simulator...
Well, yeah, I mean, just like as a kid, you just like, this is simple, this is cool, this is toilet, skibbity, bop boop, whatever, but like when that game he just showed us, so it looked so complex and such, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but like a younger kid might just get overwhelmed and like, this is just good enough for them.
Seemed to be very lacking. Within the gameplay itself, I found myself more fascinated with the units and gameplay with Tower Defenders than Toilet Tower Defense. And this really goes for every game within the unpopular games. I played for about 20 to 40 minutes each without even realizing it, but for the popular games, I could not even fathom playing these games for more than 10 minutes. However, this low complexity in the popular games is actually one of the reasons why these games are so popular in the first place. For starters, low complexity lets players go in a steady pace and have a sense of direction. This allows the players to focus less on main gameplay and more on predatory tactics like loot boxes and trading, while keeping the player engaged and making sure they don't miss any content. While not having a low complexity, more linear games aren't a bad thing. It becomes suspicious when the game is heavily monetized and the gameplay is just a side product to keep the players engaged so they stay in the game longer, which the game can gain more money through side premium payouts. Low complexity games also allow for games to be easily AFK playable, letting players set up their computers, press a few buttons, and leave it for hours while they are busy or at school. This in turn will give the developers money through premium payouts and the player potentially rare and valuable items that they may seek. Good games often fall short on a few things: inconsistent updates, optimization issues, and not rewarding enough. To understand these issues, we have to look in the game itself and even the developers. On the other side of the scope, we have the complex games. Games without a clear path or goal. Games that just let you do whatever you want whenever you want, given that you're prepared. Although this type of game is more fun, it's also harder to get into. You have no idea where things are and how they work or where to go first. You're left on your own to explore and experiment. But most players don't explore beyond the first world or even the first enemy of the game. Players don't want to explore unless they know they are meant to. But when they aren't told anything, how are they expected to play the game?
When you play a game like Pet Simulator 99, they make it so simple and easy to be able to figure out, or like Blox Fruits as well. So
Players will get bored after the first mob for the 60th time and leaving assuming that's all the game is without looking into it. The games themselves are massive, but most importantly a passion project. These developers have real jobs outside of these games and lives to support. On top of that, they have families, holidays, and friends, and suddenly these games, these projects, are just not a top priority. And even if it is a priority, these games only have development teams of 1 to 6 people at most, spending a few hours a day of what little free time they have. And this inevitably leads to some inconsistencies and lack of updates. And because of how massive these games are, considering how horrible Roblox's optimization is on its own engine, it's hard to fully optimize these games so they run smoothly, play well, and look good all at the same time, which makes it unplayable on most devices. Even when I was trying to record some videos, my laptop was struggling to run these games, and what was funny was that even when I tried to record a video in Vesteria, I was having data rollback issues that didn't even let me enter the game, as well as these games being not rewarding enough. Most of these games have you play the game to get loot drops rather than click endlessly for hours on an egg, which makes you spend around 10 to 20 minutes on bosses each time. You can easily dispose hours playing these bosses and not getting a single drop you want, which leads the players to just stop playing. It's disappointing to say the least that these games fail knowing how good they are and how much potential they have. I wanted to educate people, even if it was a little bit. I will be linking every game in the description down below. Thanks for watching.
well, I think that was a pretty good video. It makes sense. It wasn't like super complex, but like he addressed some key points. Like a lot of the popular games, they can be very colorful, or it can be very like open up a bunch of boxes and get a bunch of loot and get the dopamine hits, and they're not super complex, or you're not like, what the heck's going on? What do I do? And just combine all together, and then boom, you get Pet Simulator 99, where they just gouge a bunch of money. But you guys all have a good one. Please like, subscribe, and bye-bye.